Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm so excited that you are joining me for this. This is a new adventure of mine and recommended by a really great friend. So to give you a little background, I would love for you to subscribe. So find out if I'm your jam, and if I am, please subscribe to help benefit what it is I'm trying to do. My name is Jennifer Newlin. I am a women's business and life career strategist, and what I do is I help women maximize their career through personal development. So by teaching them the ins and outs when it comes to assertiveness and emotional intelligence, how to overcome HR strategies, and I get all of my content through my books. I read on average 100 personal development books per year. So let's start with our first book. Anyone that knows me knows I have to start with a certain book because it's one that has come into my life constantly. It is like my fallback go-to book. Don't get me wrong, there are tons of great books out there and tons of my favorites, but this one is something that's near and dear to my heart, and it's a book that anyone can read. It's a very simple read, and it's also something that I brought into my leadership development classes because I find that most people do not like to read. So this is something that they could easily just grasp and get the concepts for and make it just change their lives. This is a book that will change your life. The book that I want to talk about is The Go-Giver. So The Go-Giver, this book is an absolute gem. It's something I recommend to everybody, and it's something that I give away to people all the time. So let's talk about it. The Go-Giver takes these 5 concepts, and it's written in a parable format. So Joe is the main character, and he's telling the story of himself working in an environment in which he's selling, and he's like that young guy trying to do it all, and there's this older gentleman that's been there forever who just doesn't seem to work very hard, yet he has so much that comes to him, so many sales, and he's just number one every time. And Joe really looks up to this man, but he's very intimidated by him. So he ends up going to Joe to get some insight, and he's led on this journey. And I won't give you the specifics on how the journey unveils itself, but basically Joe is taught that there's 5 concepts of being a go-giver. So I'm going to briefly go over the 5 concepts, but this is a book where you need to just read it yourself because it's going to impact everyone a little bit differently. So I really recommend, if you're in a place where you want to excel a little bit more in your career and you want to find more that matters in your relationships, you should read The Go-Giver. So the very first one is the law of value. And the law of value says that your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than what you take in payment. So this is all about, from a sales perspective, it might be, just giving a lot of free stuff away, a lot of free content away, because you care, at the end of the day, you care most about people and benefiting them and helping them than about getting paid. So the second law is the law of compensation. And according to the Go-Giver, the law of compensation is your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So it goes along the same line of the value, but this one is more in the sense that you need to figure out in your business, whatever it is you do, how can I serve as many people as possible? So for me personally, instead of doing live workshops and having local people attend, going online allows me to take my workshops global and to affect way more people than I would if I just kept it in this area where I live. So how can you take your business and what you do and affect more people? It might be leaving your current organization to go to a bigger organization, or maybe possibly opening up your own business. I mean, think those are just 2 things that you can think about. But make sure that you are serving as many people as possible and you're serving them well. That's the law of compensation. The third law of the 5 is the law of influence. So the law of influence says your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. So in this law, Joe learns about sometimes it's not about what he wants. Sometimes he finds that he's not the right person to help this client. And although he could take this sale, he knows that this client would benefit better from somebody else. And so by giving that client away to somebody else without expecting anything in return, that is the law of influence. And you have no idea how, when you do that drip in the bucket, how other drips can happen and how things will move around and you will benefit in another form later on. So it's important to always keep other people's interests first to make sure that you are influencing the people that you are meant to influence. And then the fourth one is the law of authenticity. And that one is the most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. And so we are raised to always ask our kids, and we were always asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? We should consider changing that question. We should start right now and change that question. It's not, hey, son, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's, hey, what do you want to use your gifts for? How do you want to add value to the world when you grow up? If we start asking people those questions, it's not about having a job just to make money and survive. It's about how can you use the gifts that you have to add value to this world that we're in. That should be the question. And that's the law of authenticity, because you are your most valuable thing. And we all have our superpowers. So deciding what your superpower is and using that to add value is extremely important in order for you to find true happiness. And then the fifth law is the law of receptivity. And I like this one a lot too, because this one is, we always want to help. We want to help and do things for people, yet we're very skeptical about taking kind of a go-giver. So we're not really receptive to it. The key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. So if somebody wants to give you a gift, if somebody wants to pay for something for you in line, maybe getting coffee, you have to allow them to give that gift. Because if you give a gift and somebody says no, how does that make you feel? So be open, have an open heart, and be willing to receive gifts from people, and be willing to receive gifts from the universe. We get gifts all the time from the universe that we don't even notice. We just keep going. It's like we don't even notice them because we're not open to it. So have an open mind and be open to the universe. So those are the 5 laws. As you guys can see, this book is so much more than just a workbook. This book is something that you will apply to every relationship you have. And the stories and the examples of the people, the characters in this book, it will blow your mind. It's highly relatable. You could read it in a few hours and you might cry, is the warning. So that's the Go-Giver for you guys. One of my favorite of all time books. I hope you get a chance to read it, and I would love for you guys to comment and subscribe. If you want to hear some more book feedback, book reviews, subscribe. So I will be talking to you guys soon. I'm going to plan to do these once a week. Have a great day.